Solana, the comeback kid. They've been doing a lot of stuff recently. Last week has seen a lot of really big news for Solana. And I know, when Solana was down, it was easy to kick Solana when it was down. Things were pretty bad in the market. FTX just collapsed, which is a major benefactor of a patron of the Solana ecosystem, if you will. But Solana has moved from strength to strength to strength. They've been doing a lot of big things. And I want to cover some of those big news stories with you here today because Solana might be worth paying attention to as we move into the next cycle. I know there's a lot of like new Solana competitors. There's Aptos and there's Sui and like 10 other chains. But chains build moats around them. And Solana did manage to capture a lot of attention, a lot of partnerships, a lot of users over the past few years. And these new chains have to start from scratch. Now, maybe Solana gets blockbustered by a better chain. But maybe they have a big stake in the future bull run. Well, let's talk about some of the news going on here. The first big story is that Shopify has teamed up with Solana Pay. So this is from the Solana account. Today, Solana Pay integrates with Shopify, empowering the millions of entrepreneurs and merchants on Shopify to accept fast Web3 native payments with no transaction fees throughout the end of 2023. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, this is a big story because, as Patrick Hansen points out, Shopify accounts for 10% of the total US e-commerce and $444 billion worth of global economic activity. Kind of a big deal. The average cost per transaction using Solana Pay in USDC is 0.00025 cents. So it's not a penny. It's not a quarter of a penny. It's a tiny, tiny fraction of a penny. And of course, that is a one-way transaction. There's no credit card chargebacks, which if you're a merchant, you know all about credit card chargebacks. They're a pain in the butt. Not only does the credit card company charge you like a $25 fee because somebody's trying to get chargeback on you, which takes your time if you want to fight it and all this BS. It's a real pain in the butt. And something like 1 to 3% of all transactions end up getting some kind of chargeback or fraud call or something like that. You receive a USDC transaction, it's in your account. It doesn't go back out. And of course, your average merchant's paying a lot of money to those credit card companies, on average between 1.5% to 2.5%, which is a pain in the butt. I don't like paying. I sell products, I sell courses, I sell newsletters, and we have to pay processing fees to these companies. And everybody has to pay. Everybody has to pay for this, and it's problematic. Whereas you could use Web3 solutions and have it be dramatically cheaper, better for you, better for the merchants. And if merchants can offer you a discount, that becomes very interesting, doesn't it? If you could say, hey, look, it's going to be $50, or let's say it's 100. Keep it 100. It's going to be $100 if you use your credit card, or it's going to be $97.50 if you pay with Solana Pay. A lot of people are going to choose the Solana Pay option. This is a big potential partnership for cryptocurrency in general. And we've seen so many of these big stories this year. You know, Solana Pay integrating with Shopify is a big damn deal. And if we see PayPal bring a tenth of their user base, which would be 40 million people, into crypto, massive. If you see X, then, formerly known as Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter, if you see them bring in 40 million of their 400 million users whenever they launch the payments side of the X app, we're talking about massive fuel for a massive bull run. It's like a forest fire, right? The more dead trees and all that stuff you put in the forest, the bigger the fire is going to be. Well, we're piling up the kindling. We're throwing in a bunch of pine cones. We're throwing on some dry logs. We're throwing in some barrels of oil. It's going to be a conflagration, guys. It's going to be crazy. There'll be an inferno when it starts going off. The question is, when does that start? Might not be before the Bitcoin halving. We can see the framework is being built for this. Solana also coming out with their Only Possible on Solana campaign, which I thought was pretty interesting. And basically looking at some of the partnerships that they've been launching and things that are only possible whenever it comes to having tiny, cheap fees. Helium Mobile, a different app, custom driving app. We have the Drip team. They dropped 25 million NFTs for only $3,000 in fees, which would be like, I don't know, $1 million in fees on Ethereum. So we're seeing a lot of interest still in Solana, which is pretty cool. We're seeing users show up. We're seeing developers show up. We're seeing builders show up to Solana. In fact, some of the protocols and stuff that left Solana have actually come back to Solana now, which is quite funny. Also, Brave browser, they announced the addition of Solana NFT token gating into Brave Talk, which is pretty cool. So you can use your Solana wallet to set your NFT as an avatar, gate access to holders of a specific collection, automatically assign moderator rights based on NFTs. I mean, that's all pretty cool. So basically, you can have sort of, Zoom kind of chats, but in order to get in, you've got to have that NFT, which makes it pretty cool for NFT communities to be able to talk to each other, or just crypto communities, or whatever nerds who just want to sit around and have their NFT avatars be their profile pictures. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Now, before we get into the rest of the Solana news, if you're not signed up yet to the Wealth Master newsletter, you got to get it checked out. It's the best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency industry. Every single week, we send it 3 times to your inbox. The latest on crypto news, the latest altcoin alpha, the latest in DeFi and technical analysis, altcoin reports. So much value every single week coming through to your inbox. For example, we just did a big report on Polygon's Paul token. We have a tutorial on how to use GMX V2. We have an altcoin review on HMX, base NFTs, and much, much more. You can join our 75,000 weekly readers by using the link down below in the description to get signed up, or you can go over to thewealthmastery.io, thewealthmastery.io, where you can get signed up to the newsletter and start getting the reports straight to your inbox. Now, more Solana news. Phantom Wallet, they have announced a new feature. It lets apps securely authenticate their users with just a Solana address. So this is sign in with Solana. Fast, easy, secure solution to the problem of authenticating users with self-custody wallets. Another great step forward for, Web3 technology, as well as for the Solana ecosystem. So pretty cool stuff. I like it. It's nice to see these kind of developments happening. Also, Marinade Finance, a major staking platform on Solana, they said they had a huge 1 million SOL stake come into Marinade Native. Now, the native product is only a month old. It's really starting to pick up. So you put your SOL stake on autopilot by delegating it to 100 plus of the top performing validators in just one click with no smart contract exposure. So it's a new service from them to make liquid staking on Solana better, more secure, safer, more robust, more decentralized. I like it. Good stuff. The kind of stuff you want to see coming out of a bear market. Stablecoin market cap growth for Solana has been continuing to be steady. Let's say we've seen, for example, Avalanche, and Polygon falling off a little bit, but Solana has maintained attention. We've been seeing a lot of big VCs and stuff like that talking about Solana. We're seeing enough of the community has stuck around on Solana, so it's got that base potentially for the next market cycle to find some traction amongst the right communities. As well, hey, we got to give a shout out to Solana. 6 months without accidents. I love it. 100% uptime for the last 6 months. Keep it classy, Solana. I love it. Of course, you got to give Solana a hard time because Solana has quite famously gone down quite a few times. There's been quite a few situations where they've had to sort of flick the light switch on and off a few times to get the thing started back up, yank on the chain a few times. Come on, let's get this sucker started back up. 6 months without any incidents. Good. Question is, Can they maintain that during the next bull cycle? And of course, a lot of people talk about Solana these days as getting Ethereum back when it was 80 bucks. You see, back in the last bear market, Ethereum's market cap got down to around $8 billion. Ethereum was around 80 bucks at the time. Didn't stay there for very long, but it did get down there for a brief time. Spent a lot more time around $150 to $200, which was like a $16 to $20 billion market cap. But it's interesting, if you think that all these news stories that we've just talked about have real potential to have a long-term impact on the Solana ecosystem and, of course, the price of the SOL asset, then right now we're at an $8.5 billion market cap. It's kind of where Ethereum was in the last cycle, which is an interesting thought, right? Interesting as well to look at the all-time high market cap of Solana. It only got up to $77 billion. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't that crazy when you compare it to, well, right now in a bear market or the earliest stages of a bull market, Ethereum's got around a $200 billion market cap. So Solana is worth 1/20th of what Ethereum's worth right now. So if you think that Solana is going to be the new paradigm of money in the next market cycle, feels like it's trading at a discount. I don't currently own any Solana. By the way, I guess I have like 3 SOL or something like that sitting in my wallet so that I can, spend it for gas fees. But I don't have any investment levels worth of Solana at the moment. But I can certainly understand why people have been interested in it recently with these kind of news stories coming out. Definitely worth paying attention to. I've been paying attention to Solana. I haven't bought any. I haven't rebought any position, I should say. And I might not. I don't know. I feel like I got too many coins in my portfolio already. But I am encouraged and excited by the success of any companies in this industry. When we see big partnerships, when we see them doing good stuff, that's great. And it should be celebrated by everybody. This whole sort of chain maximalism, my chain's the best chain, every other chain sucks. I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I think it's BS. I think we need to cheer on others' successes. And when they bring people into this industry, it's good for everybody. If that Shopify partnership ends up onboarding millions of merchants, it's good for literally everybody in this market. So that's something to keep in mind.